Okay, so I'm not really sure who's watching this besides Kat, but if anyone else is, hi, I'm Tayla. I chose to do a video post just because I felt like it was easier for me to express myself in that sense. Um, so the first question is, what did you learn about yourself personally and professionally? After this class and my internship, what I learned about myself personally is um, a lot about my communication skills. I learned the easiest ways for me to communicate are face to face or actually through text, just because I feel like in this day and age that's something that is inevitable and it kind of that's the way the world's going. Um, so I learned a lot about my communication skills. I learned a lot about my preferences and what I feel comfortable and confident working with, which, as I've stated throughout the semester, is social media. I really think that that is where I can kind of do my own thing. I feel like I excel in that area. And now that I've done this internship, I have a lot of proof that I can do that, which is awesome. Professionally, I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with what I just said. I think that that's an area that I'd love to stray into. And I also, after doing this marketing internship, learned that I really do love marketing. I love promotions. I loved running around behind the scenes at basketball games and concerts and being able to see exactly the evolution of how something starts from just closing the deal to all of a sudden you've got like the tour bus outside and you have to get everyone ready and you have to watch the students and make sure everyone gets in fine and you have all your marketing tables set up. And so professionally, I kind of learned the field that I'd actually really like to get into if possible. The next question is, what was your greatest accomplishment and or success? I elaborated on this in my portfolio, but I felt like my greatest accomplishment, and it may sound minimal to some, but when I started at my internship, the social media regarding Facebook and Twitter for the Ryan Center was awesome. We had a decent amount of followers, a great amount of likes, and people paid attention. But the Instagram, which I think is something that should really be adapted to as a business in this day and age, was lacking. We had 53 followers. I had trouble vocalizing that it's something I wanted to work on, and then we got a new coworker in who was also kind of one of my supervisors, and she was much easier for me to talk to. And when I told her that, she gave me full control of the Instagram. So my greatest accomplishment, I believe, is taking the Instagram over at 53 followers and getting them to 180. It may sound small, like I said earlier, but it's hard when you're not one single person to get people interested in you, and especially when you don't have events every day that you can post about. To keep people interested and make them want to follow you is a big accomplishment to me, at least, and so I'm very proud of that. Um, Something else I'm also proud about is the Ryan Center was nominated by another concert kind of venue. Global Spectrum owns a lot of them, and the Ryan Center is one of them. So they did a random act of kindness video, and the Ryan Center was nominated for that. And we didn't want to just give away tickets like a lot of other people have been doing, because we want to show that like we're proud of what we do. And so we decided to. I mentioned all of this in my portfolio, but in we had DJ Hardwell come last week or 2 weeks ago. So they came with Aqua EDM, which is like a water show. So we went to the quad, myself included. We passed out free water bottles to students, and then we ended up surprising two separate students with free tickets to Hardwell. Another random act of kindness that we did was for Foam and Glow, which was the other night. I did not participate in this one, but um, staff at the Ryan Center washed a student's car and gave them free tickets to Foam and Glow. And the last part, which to me is the biggest part, is we went to Southern Rhode Island Animal Rescue League and we surprised a woman who had just adopted a dog with her family, and we gave them a whole starter kit full of toys and treats. And we also gave her a bag of food and some tickets to Super Dogs, which is tomorrow night. And I was really proud of that as well, because the whole idea for the starter kit for the dogs and putting all like a goodie basket together was actually my idea. So I was very proud that they respected me and they thought my idea was good enough to use and then put in a video. The next question is, what did you find most challenging about this experience? What I found most challenging was my transition from doing menial tasks such as coming into work and sitting on Photoshop all day, which I understand is something essential for me to learn. But at the same time, when I would go in and one of the marketing assistants asked me one day to just come up with a cornhole board idea for Boss Ice Arena, and I spent my duration of the time that day photoshopping something when I had barely learned it. It was challenging for me to kind of transition from doing things that I know they needed me to do to doing things that I liked. I understand that the whole experience will encompass things that I necessarily am not personally interested in, but I need to learn. But I think that was the most challenging for me, was being able to vocalize, okay, I'm really interested in social media. I'd love to get some of that in my portfolio. I want it under my belt so I can talk about it in future interviews. And I had a hard time expressing my interest in it at first prior to one of my new supervisors coming in. The next question is, what soft skills and tangible skills did I learn and develop? To be honest, what a soft skill is eluding me, so I'm so sorry about this, but one second. Okay. So some soft skills that I feel that I learned, or tangible skills through this internship, I touched upon this earlier, but talking about just communication wise, especially because I struggled with one of the marketing assistants who I felt lacked people skills, and I wasn't really sure how to communicate with him because, as you can tell from my hands and talking and whatnot, that I'm very expressive and I have no problem vocalizing what I need, but when I feel like someone else isn't as receptive to what I'm trying to say, I'll shy away from the conversation a little bit and not really want to delve into it. So I learned different ways of approaching people and starting conversations and getting them to see my point of view, as well as acknowledging and recognizing their point of view as well. Like, maybe they're not exactly a people person, but that doesn't mean that they don't understand what I'm saying and aren't willing to work with what I'm saying. So I feel like I really went miles in learning soft skills and communication. And then in regard to tangible skills that I learned, it's a little difficult, I guess. Some tangible skills I learned, again, I feel like a horrible student because I don't exactly remember what these are, so I'm trying to look it up as I talk, and I'm so sorry, Kat. But some tangible skills that I learned, I guess, would be Photoshop. Definitely. I had no clue how to work Photoshop whatsoever before this internship. It's something I really wanted to learn because I feel like even in public relations, you kind of need to be a jack of all trades, and so I wanted to be able to do that in case like I needed to cover someone at work in my future career or whatnot. And I also, like, how cool is that to have these awesome things photoshopped in your portfolio? So Photoshop is probably the most tangible skill that I learned, as well as just kind of marketing techniques when you're approaching and talking to people, different ways to approach someone without coming across as like one of those seedy guys on a New York street who, like, is about to just try and take advantage of you. So I hope that kind of covers that whole question. It's a little hard. My internship was pretty much, if I wasn't doing Photoshop work on the computer, creating Excel sheets, I was kind of out talking to people or working on social media, and just my main focus was getting more attention to the Ryan Center. The next question is, what influence will this experience have on your future academic and career choices? Again, I feel like I've mentioned this briefly, but like I said before, I wanted an internship that, they benefit you either way. You either learn what you want to do or what you don't want to do. And I was actually really hoping that I would find an internship that taught me what I wanted to do. And I feel like this marketing internship that I had at the Ryan Center really influenced my future career choice. Originally I was looking at PR, I was looking at social media jobs, which are few and far between. And now I feel like there's kind of a new market open for me, personally, because I realize that I do now have a small marketing background that I can run with. And I love the whole promotional world. I loved creating things. I liked seeing my work up somewhere. on a website or in a newspaper. And I think that kind of is really special and satisfying. So this experience definitely influenced my entire career choice. It opened up a whole new field for me that I didn't expect, and I'm very grateful for that. The next question is, how will you recognize and thank your supervisor and coworkers and bring this experience to a close? Today, May 1st, was actually my last day. I wrote a whole thank you note for my supervisor, Matt, and he was out of the office all day in meetings, so I unfortunately had to leave it on his desk. But I did spend the day with two of my other coworkers, one being the female supervisor who I got very close with, and the other was the marketing assistant that I had trouble communicating with. I thanked my coworker for all the Photoshop that he taught me, and I wished him well in all of his future endeavors because he is a graduate student who is graduating, and he's off looking for jobs just like I am. And then my other supervisor, who I got very close with, it was actually really difficult to leave her. She was the first person to really trust me, not question me, listen to me, and I can't thank her enough for that. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have half of the things in my portfolio. And she's got all my contact information. I have hers, and I know we're going to be not only friends, but great contacts for each other, I hope. And I have nothing but wonderful things to say about every single person who I got to work with at the Ryan Center. And the last question is, what are your final thoughts on your completed portfolio? I just finished my portfolio, putting my resume in and everything, and I could not be more proud of that. It's actually such an awesome thing to have. I can't wait to put it on my resume and my LinkedIn if there's a space for it. But I think it's the coolest thing. It was a lot of work to try and get pictures, and I really didn't update it as much as I should have, but now that it's completed, it just blows my mind how awesome it is that I actually have an online portfolio, and especially being able to put the learning contracts in and write my own paragraphs and show my objectives. It shows step by step how I grew through this process, and I think my completed portfolio is probably my favorite thing of this semester. To be quite honest, I'm very, very proud of it, and I can't wait to show it to the world. And by the world, I mean future employers, hopefully. So, I'm not sure if there's anything else I need to say in this. Hopefully, it posts that I didn't just spend almost 13 minutes talking for nothing. But thank you again, Kat, for leading the way in this internship seminar. I'm grateful for you too. You didn't pressure me at all. You didn't make me feel like I was ever going to fail or do badly in this class. And I hope you have a wonderful summer and you continue teaching this class because you're a very great professor here, if you're a professor. Thank you. Bye.